Today, this is training update, so let's get to it. Welcome back, everyone. Today, I'm back to make a little training update because I've been a little bit not consistent in the way I'm sharing my process I'm going through on my training and so on. So I thought it was better to just wrap everything up in one video, and we are going to talk about the technique, where am I, what I'm looking for, where I'm going, and so on, with the different things also that I've understood that really make a very big difference, I think, and I'm getting very close to something good. And also we are going to talk about the golf course, because you've probably seen the last video I make where I was starting from the ladies tee, and so I'm going to talk about that, why I'm doing it, and what I'm going to do later. So let's talk first about the technique. And to do that, in the last session, actually, I started the session to do a little to explain, because it's always difficult when I'm explaining things like this, probably for you to understand what I mean. So overall, I'm really happy because I have finally understood the whole framework that I like, and that I'm going to be able that makes sense to me. What I mean by that is, until now I was struggling to fix my technique, to know what I need to do and so on. And for each person it's going to be different, but for me, I know I'm stable with the things I like and the concept that makes sense to me. Where as long as conceptually it makes sense, it doesn't really matter how I actually do it in reality. This can change over time, but the concept doesn't change, and it's important for me that I like it, that I get emotionally comfortable with. And so the first, so currently I think I find the whole framework, the conceptual framework, that allow me to I think going to be consistent in the future, because I will, now that this framework from the beginning of the swing until the end is complete, now I have a clear roadmap, I have a clear target, and now everything I'm going to work on is going to go toward executing this ideal. And so it's not perfect, because it's probably 90%, 95% of the technique, but then the 10 or 5% that is left is details. How can I put the club in the right place while executing the framework as I want to use it, and so on. And so let's talk about the framework, what it is, and why it makes sense to me. The first part is, you're going to see here, I'm stepping, and I'm basically just throwing the club to the right. This is what I do for my takeaway. I step and throw, step and throw. You see the idea. I'm not saying when I say the concept and versus the reality, I'm organizing things in reality is two different things, and I'm not stable in the way I'm organizing things in reality. This can change, but conceptually I'm more stable. This is just me, this is the way I work. And what I mean by organizing things in reality, here you see I'm talking about concept, just step and throw, that's the concept. I'm not saying how you should step, I'm not saying how you should throw, how you should turn your wrist, what muscle you should activate, and so on. Those are in reality how you should do things. So this can change over time. This change in the way I feel, and so on. But the concept is going to stay the same: step and throw. And so this is a concept I had for a long time that I really liked, but because it was getting in the way of doing everything else right, I kind of stepping away for a while. So I decided, no, I'm sticking to the things I like and the thing I want to do. The thing I like to do and the concept. I realized that's what matter to me, to be consistent, because this is that the issue until now is I'm changing my technique all the time, so I'm not consistent. So, and the fact that I'm not consistent is because I don't have this conceptual guideline in my mind, and now I think I found it. So step, throw. Next, once the backswing is done, the concept I found is really linked to two things. First is I didn't talk about that, but the step and throw. Why it's important? It's because it allows you to start the takeaway as fast as you want. You can do it as slow as you want, but you can also do it as fast as you want. And this is very important for you to generate power. But for now, I'm not focused on that, but I just want to have this technique down. So when later I want to increase my speed, I know I already have the trigger motion to start the club fast from the setup. So that's why the step and throw is a motion that I want to have, and I want to keep at it. But the reaction to that is slowing down. Okay, you accelerate during the takeover, but then the end of the downswing is slowing down in order to transition toward reaccelerating toward the ball. And so you step, throw, and here it's about slowing down. So and I'm going to talk about there is a second aspect, which is about the shoulder, the differential between the shoulder and the hip, but this is linked to the downswing, so I'm going to talk about that just after. So here, to slow down, what I found is, because I'm very flexible, the issue, I need to use everything I can in order for me to actually slow down, slow everything down. So I need to counter the force of the club, which is going around me and up. So basically what I need to do is I need to use my obliques, use my arm, everything to really as my hips are rotating to the right, and this is not something I'm doing, this is just the reaction of the force that is created by the club. My hips are going to move to the right, and as I'm doing that, I should fire my obliques, the muscle right there, to the left, to really to create a lot of tension in those muscles, to have the shoulders that are actually rotating in the opposite direction of my hips, to resist the momentum of the club around me in a rotation, so like this. Same for the arm, you need to push them like this, so you rotate your obliques, you rotate, so your the concept here is having the shoulder rotate towards the left while the hips are rotating towards the right. This is counterintuitive because people usually think, and as I did, that you need to stretch during the backswing. Stretch as much as you possibly can during the backswing to create resistance, and then while here, no. The way I create resistance is by firing my muscles in the right direction to resist the force of the club. This is how I'm creating tension. But if I don't do that, if I just rely on my flexibility, I'm too flexible and the club is going to go way past the parallel at the top of the swing, especially with the driver. And so for me, I cannot rely on just the tension. And also I think in terms of preventing injuries and so on, I think it's way better. So why I like this concept of just having the shoulder rotate on the opposite direction of my hips is because first, it prevents injury, I think. Second, it reduces the length of my backswing. And third, which is the component that is going to go just after forced downswing. So here you can see I'm just really trying to, as my hips rotate to the right, I'm trying to really feel that my shoulder rotating to the left. And then you can see here we are going to why This is also important as an action reaction. If you didn't see my video about action reaction, go watch it, because it's going to make more sense. Why I'm doing this, turning my shoulder left compared to when my hips are turning right, is because then during the transition, the beginning of the downswing, as you start rotating your hips towards the left, you want your shoulder to actually rotate towards the right, to have a very, very stable transition. The transition is a part of the swing that is the most critical, where if it's not stable, then the result of you cannot anticipate what's going to happen at impact. Where if while your hips are changing direction, your shoulder are also changing direction, then it becomes a lot more easy to have your lower body that is tracting your upper body, sorry. And so it makes the transition very, very smooth. The acceleration at the beginning of the downswing very smooth, so everything is happening very on a very stable base. And so that's an action reaction. If you are already stretched to the max and your shoulder is already turned to the max of your possibility compared to your hips, then when you start your downswing, your shoulder, what does it want to do? It just want to do that. And so this can create over the top and so on, all kind of wrong motions that can destroy your ball flight consistency. So that's why I like this concept, is if my shoulder are rotated that way, then when I'm start turning my hips that way, it's much more easy. Where can my shoulder go? If they are turning to the max here, they can only turn there. That's as simple as that. Of course, because of the momentum of the club and so on, I'm barely going to be able to go past this position, but I'm probably going to be there. But still, I will have some room left for my shoulder to keep turning in this direction while my hips are turning that way. And so that's the second part. As your hips start turning, having the upper body, the shoulders that keep turning right, as the lower body is turning left. That's the part of the downswing. And when you combine those two together, the backswing and the downswing, then you have the transition. And so take away, you accelerate, backswing you're slowing down, and then downswing you're progressively accelerating, and from the ground up. This is really the key. And to do that, in order to have your lower body that is able to start first, this is the idea of having your shoulders that are keep rotating that way as your hips are rotating that way. Therefore, you cannot use your upper body at this point, and that's a good thing, because you want to use your upper body to give the power to the club just before impact, which leads me to the final piece of the framework, which is actually rotating the upper body that way and stopping the hips. And so that's the idea. I'm turning my hips, I'm rotating my upper body on that way until almost the delivery point, and once I'm at the delivery point, then I'm just throwing the arm, throwing the club, the upper body rotating that direction while my hips are actually stopping. And so here is the base framework that I really like. Everything makes sense. It creates a chain reaction that everything is connected together to go towards the everything that I want to do actually. And so now that this concept is good, it's about the detail. So let's look at here. You can see delivery point. I'm turning my hips and just trying to feel that my shoulder are rotating right as I'm doing it. And then here is about really stopping the hip and turning the upper body that way really fast, firing the oblique as hard as you possibly can, and just letting the club go and release. That's it. That's it. There is no. And this is actually something that I found. Because, so that is what I told you until now is the base framework. Now, how can I because even by I'm doing that, there is still I found it to be difficult. I found it to that there was thing that I was struggling to do consistently, let's say. Typically the position at the top of my backswing, and then rotating and so on. And I found this motion in the downswing can be as I'm rotating, if I'm turning my arm that way. This is something here I'm not sure about that. So I still put it in the video because I found it very interesting, because the issue I had until now is understanding how to generate power while you are rotating, and actually turning your arm like this as you're rotating for the club in a very inside out position, which is going to close the club face. But if you rotate really aggressively, I know that's something to investigate in the near future. I'm going to go deeper into because now that my framework is good, I want to figure out if that makes sense. But anyway, so let's come back to it. I hope it makes sense. I hope it's not really too much confusing, and you have understood some stuff. And so that was the technical part. With this little feature. So in terms of body, I explained to you how things work. Now this is about basically the arms. To put the club in the right direction in every step of the way on the backswing and downswing. That I need to keep working at it. I'm 90%. The framework is 90% fixed. Now it's just the details I need to figure out. But I think I'm working in the right direction. Where I'm really struggling is slowing down. This I need to figure things out in order to be able to do it consistently, because I'm struggling. I'm not used to do it, and so what's with my coach, I talked about that, and so we say maybe after step and throw, I need to feel that actually I'm going back directly from the setup position. That some area, but I've tried it, that doesn't work as well. So that worked, but I'm not able to do it consistently. And then I understood that in the step and throw, until now I was just step and throwing to the right. That's it. But I realized that there was an upward component as well, where I'm just not throwing to the right. I'm throwing to the right and up, and this create an action reaction, because if I'm just throwing to the right, then I can only go to the left, but I'm losing this up and down action that creates a lot of force, and also it's part of the swing. The club is moving up, so I need to have this up and down motion. So I realized that it's not just so there is a speed aspect, fast, slow, accelerate slowly, and then aggressively. But there is also the vertical aspect. And so at the takeaway, this is an up motion. I'm step and throw up. Then on the backswing, as I'm throwing down, I should go down. And this creates this has a action reaction. Really, I felt it as soon as I started letting up. If I was doing everything the same in terms of feeling the framework on the backswing, then I start then I'm going down. That's very interesting, and so that's the key element. I'm starting getting grasp on and so on. So yeah, Anyway, I think that's it for the technical part. I'm just going to talk quickly about the golf course, why I started from the Ladisti and so on. Actually, it was just a try. I just wanted to try, have fun and so on, and trying to score on the par. But I didn't. And this pissed me off a lot. I took it very personally to not be able to score on the par. Yes, I started the golf course not warmed up, but it doesn't excuse anything. And so I'm really pissed. And so from now on, until I'm able to score consistently under par, I'm going to start from the Ladisti. That's it. But yeah, and also I'm making this video before the a golf course, after a golf course that I did yesterday, but you're probably going to see the golf course just after. So I've been able to score under par with from the Ladisti, but I found a lot of very interesting things, and also I talked in previous videos about the fact that I a lot of, I think, emotional baggage on the golf course that prevent me from playing well. That I think I'm just stressing when I'm attacking greens and so on. I'm just not comfortable at all, and so this creates a ton of anxiety that actually prevent me, and this is completely subconscious, that prevent me from being able to play my best golf. And so I shot 5 on the par, making 5 birdies, best in a very long time. And this felt good. This felt very good. I hit almost every green. I think I just missed 2 greens. Okay, I'm hitting wedges, but still, that build good pattern. And this is something I keep getting back to. But it's very important to practice perfect, to practice what you want on the putting green. If you want to make putt, practice making putt. Make them. Make hundreds of putts. And if you want to score on the par, just practice scoring on the par. And if it means I need to start from the Ladisti, I'm going to do it. And so because in terms of this is about building confidence, trust in yourself that you can actually do it. And so my goal is, so we are a 54 channel, so the goal is to hit 54. Probably I'm not going to do it right now, but what I want to do is keep on scoring from the Ladisti until I'm able to hit to make 10 under par, 10 birdies. And so I find a way to do it, to make birdies with my putter. I find a trick that is very interesting in my putting, to actually make putt almost on demand, but it's consume a ton of mental energy. But I cannot rely on that. As I said, it consumes a ton of energy. If I'm just doing that on every hole, I'm burning out before the end of the golf course. So I need to improve on my wedges to be able to get much closer to the flag, to have easy birdies. I need to increase also my distance to get closer to the green on the little par 4, because there is a lot when you start from the Ladisti, but and so on. And I'm going to talk. Let's talk slightly about it. About what I found on the putting is very interesting, because I started to. No, I'm going to make another video about it. Let's do it. Let's make that. Anyway, so yes, I'm going to during this winter, especially because this is winter, the distance are shorter. I'm going to continue to go from the Ladisti with the goal of scoring lower and lower and lower, improving on my wedges, improving on my putting, my distances as well. So the goal is simply as that. On my TrackMan, I want currently I'm on not so good drive. I'm 220. On good drive, I'm 240 carry. The idea is I'm getting 20 meters. So now, if I want to move from the red tee to the blue tee, which is the competition ladies tee, I need to gain 20 meters in driving distance. So basically, I need to carry the ball between 240 and 260 every time. Then, to go from the men's yellow tee, it's going to 20 meters longer, which is going to be 260 and 280 carry. So that's still a long drive. That start becoming a very, very long drive. 260 and 280 meters in carry. That's a lot. That's clearly PGA Tour level. And then training from the white tee is going to be hitting the ball 300 meters carry. Rory McIlroy level. And so both in terms of birdies and distance, I need to validate the two, 10 on the par and having the carry distance that I need to go to the next tee. That's it. So I think that's it for today. Big training update, but it's very interesting. Things are moving in a very good direction, and also I start feeling the right thing in terms of downswing. What I need to do with my arm, I didn't went into it, but things start getting very interesting. So I'm really excited to what's going next. So thanks you for watching, and see you next time.